Last 20 seconds. Shaq and the Candyman shove a little in the lane. Candyman fired up, shoving teammates around. Get off me. Let me at him. Candyman held back. Both men tossed. Lakers win 98-9. Still second. Kmart tonight got interesting. Here he is battling Jim Jackson for position. Called for a flagrant foul. That's Martin's 7th of the season. Looked like a routine play. Kmart fired up after the Nets up 15. Williams and Zoe battling for a rebound. They almost come to blows. Williams like, please, Mr. Zoe, please don't hit me. Zoe will put his finger in Kmart's face now. Notice the difference. Martin like, I want you to touch me. I'm a crazy man. You thought I was coming after you. Zoe tossed. Hears it from the crowd. The fans know the Nets are the beasts of the East. Would Hardaway be a man of his word? With the ball, guarded by Darrell Armstrong, pushes off. Armstrong falls down. Words exchanged. Both players get teased. Later in the third, Armstrong guarding Hardaway again. He steps in front for the steal. The save to T. Mack, who's going in for the dunk. McGrady had 30. Now, after the basket, Hardaway and Monty Williams get into it. Hardaway ejected. Tries to go after the ref. What happened to positive? Do the crime, do the time. Dale Davis tried to take Sean Bradley's head off. For that, he gets a 2-game suspension and a $12,500 fine. Mo Cheeks hinted Davis might have been provoked. The Lakers might have provoked Danny Fortson. The league didn't excuse him either. For exceeding 5 flagrant foul points this season, he's also suspended 2 games. Responding to Fortson's roughhousing, Shaq said legends don't retaliate to average high school players, and he is an average high school player. So what does a player do to respond to an opponent like Reggie Miller? In Kobe's case, punches are thrown, games are missed. For Bryant, there's more to this than fisticuffs. There's competitive fire. And as contrary as it seems, Shelley Smith reports Kobe may be taking his place among the game's elite.
Anxious public wanting to know what has caused the young superstar to resort to hardcore violence.
I mean, you guys keep talking about this incident like it's damn Mike Tyson and Holyfield. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we had a little squabble and that's it. It's not like I bit the guy's ear off.
Or like he and Samaki haven't kissed and made up.
So I think everybody's kind of overanalyzing things. I mean, a fight is a fight, period. I mean, fights happen. You move on to the next day, and that's it.
Fights do happen and have always happened in this league, even among the best.
I know we don't like to promote fighting, but some of the best fights have been by the greatest players that's ever played this game. Mike and Reggie, Dr. J, you know, Bird.
Magic Johnson fought Kevin Johnson. Isaiah Thomas fought his teammate Bill Laimbeer, who fought Charles Barkley, who fought Shaq, who punched Eric Montross and Brad Miller, who now plays on the same team as Reggie Miller, who scrapped with Derek Coleman, Charles Smith, and Frank Rakowski before taking on Kobe.
Reggie is the guy who's always talked a lot throughout his career, and you know, it was unfortunate, but, you know, I can see, you know, Kobe being very competitive like he is. So it just lost to his for a moment.
Michael Jordan once punched one of his teammates, Steve Kerr, during a practice, and took on Reggie Miller, too.
In a weird way, it's almost like he joined an elite group of guys who have, you know, taken a swing at someone.
Especially Reggie, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he has a lot of enemies.
Like a jaguar, black jaguar, out of his cage.
I think 90% of the time trash talking is just trash talking, and 90% of the time you just try to let it talk and let it go. But I will say, the more competitive you are, the more, you know, the percentages go from 10% to 20%, 20% to 30%.
Yeah, I've seen him walk away a lot. I think as he's moved on here in age, he's finding that, you know, his manhood is contested, not just as a basketball player, but things have been said, and individuals have taken shots at him. We've gotten everybody's best effort, and it hasn't worked. And now, in the third run at the championship, people are taking him to the next level. And that right now is, in some cases, you know, been a little too much.
But the Mavs race back. Mark Aguirre, 2 of his 24 points. Dallas was up by 10 at halftime. They would not look back in the second half, but it got a little nasty in this game. James Donaldson and Michael Holden have a difference of opinion. Sam Perkins, Dave Hoppen, yikes. Yeah, but the Mavs would prevail in this one. 107-98 was your final score. The
last regular season game between these two teams, which went to overtime. There was some physical play in that game, too. Ostertag clotheslining Divac. ejected from the game. This was on April 13th in the last regular season game that was played in Sacramento. So we've seen some controversial plays and some physical plays in this game tonight. Right now, Ostertag on the bench for Utah, carrying 2 personal fouls. The update on the game, 6:27 to go in the half. Kings 41.
But there was an opportunity to atone in game 2. The Jazz veterans emphasizing no letdowns. Chris Webber hoping to bounce back from a rather mediocre game 1. First possession. Check out C-Webb in the spot shadow. You're going to see Stockton come off that UCLA cut, and Webber just makes him pay. Annihilates Stockton. Flagrant foul. John stayed down for a while. He usually bounces up. You don't see that much. The tone had been set. Kings moving it inside. C-Webb, Kings, tense moment. Ostertag so good in game 1. Hammers Webber as he comes inside. A sore back giving C-Webb.
Record than the Rockets are the Raptors. Toronto hosting Houston. Second quarter, Toronto down 1. Mike James is going to get the bucket and the foul, and then he's going to get into a little tiff with Juwan Howard. You said what? Can't do that. You cannot do that. Both players got teased. Howard ejected, so he wasn't around to see Tracy McGrady go for 37, one off his season high. James took offense, and then he went on the offense. Three-pointer there. The Raptors up 10. Fourth quarter, Raptors up 16. James steps back. He had 30.
Shouldn't have put the ball in his face like that.
No, because he's putting it in their face. James, fourth quarter, shooting the jumper. Charlie Villanueva, and this will make Robert happy in screening. He had 21. The Raptors going to win at 112-92. That's 5. Now, halftime. Left of your screen, arrow. Oh, you read about cheerleading injuries. Well, how about a referee injured by a cheerleader? Jim Clark taken to the locker room for observation. The good news is he was able to return to the game, and he was able to see what the kid did. Jason Kidd, the steal to Carter, to Nanette Christich, over Richard Jefferson. And it's
not SportsCenter until a referee gets knocked over by a tumbling gymnast.
Going to try and save the ball, throws it off the referee. Tough week for NBA refs with Friday's cheerleading incident also.
I would ask folks at home, just listen to this music and enjoy it.
Players broke the law of the court, the one that says no bumping the referees, please. Vernon Maxwell was docked $7,500 and suspended one game without pay for doing the bump with official Jack Nyes and throwing a piece of tape at the ref. Mad Max will miss Tuesday's game against Minnesota. Elsewhere, Nets assistant coach Tom Newell was fined $2,000 and suspended one game without pay for doing the same dance with referee Steve Javey. Well, the rough stuff might be a product of some of the trash talking that goes on during the game. Unlike football, the NBA doesn't have a rule against baiting players, but sometimes they cross that fine line between saying in your face and saying something else. This week, one of the best trash talkers in the game was front and center again, Chuck Person. Who else?
They played some basketball Wednesday in Cleveland. Mark tried to make Chuck Person pay the price as tempers erupted. The Cavs won the game, but after the game, George McLeod followed up a fourth-quarter scuffle with John Battle by punching Battle in the face on the way to the locker room. Battle grabbed a 2x4 to retaliate, but the scuffle was broken up.
It was time for us to stand up and be men. Stop, letting people, back us down, make it look soft. Because that's how rep around the league. That we're a soft team. And personally, I don't think I'm a soft player, and I know Chuck's not a soft player. So you just got to stand for what you believe in.
Hopefully, we can get some more guys war for us night in and night out. If teams want to, fight, we're fight. We're going to play basketball, we'll play basketball.
Friday's rematch saw only loose lips and not clenched fists like this encounter between Detlef Schrempf and Larry Nance. Battle was back in action, but McLeod missed the game after receiving a $10,000 fine and a one-game suspension. The Cavaliers again had all the right angles, winning the war by taking the battle on the court again.
Side finish, now the hoops. Nets and Pacers. This, of course, to decide playoff seeding. Isaiah Thomas and company trying to get the three. Reggie Miller knocked down hard by Jason Collins, continuing some bad blood between these teams. Collins called for the flagrant. Reggie stunned, down for about 2.5 minutes, stays in the game. Collins sent for ejection. Wonder if there'll be a spillover. suspension to the playoffs. Jermaine
Pacers bad boy Ron Artest is getting all riled up.
I always go right to the limit, sometimes beyond.
Meanwhile, Jazz and Kings start the show. C-Webb hoping to get Sacto back in the winning column after 2 straight losses. First quarter, Jerry Sloan points to the floor where he feels Doug Christie has stepped out of bounds. A foul called on the Christie drive, and then, well, we have dogs and cats living together. Sloan pushes Courtney Kirkland. He has to be restrained, and see you later. Jerry Sloan, just like that, ejected from the game. Goodbye. Boy, it looked like a quick temper there. Stockton has escorted Sloan to the tunnel, and he's still talking to Kirkland on the way out. My goodness, Jerry hot under the collar.
Something obviously was exchanged, some verbal exchange between the official himself, and he crossed the line. Can't do it. You see here, looking back to when he did it the first time in 1993, that's a little love tap in the chest. It's going to cost him, and this is going to cost him. When the league takes a look at what he did tonight in this ballgame, he is definitely going to feel the wrath of a suspension and a pretty hefty fine for what he did. You can't touch the officials.
Well, and you saw it both in the instance on Tuesday and the instance in 1993. Not only did he shove them the first time, it looked like he wanted to go after it again. So that goes back to what you're talking about once he loses that line of control, it's cut loose.
Yeah, he has a hard time shutting it down. You also have to look at the New York game where he came in, busted up the TV set, took a $100,000 camera, smashed that to the floor. Those kind of things don't help you. So you look at this guy, everybody knows that he's the all-star on this team. Brad Miller has had a great year. There's no question about it. But Ron Artest is the guy there. He's the defensive player. He's playing great on the offensive end.
Listen, there's no question Ron Artest is a great player. And he could have been an all-star. Do you think the fact that he went after Pat Riley, and this is not the first time he's had this problem this year, that's the reason he's not an all-star right now? He pretty much took himself out of the all-star running because of those on-field, on-court activities. Now let's look at exactly what happened on Monday night. Going up against an opposing coach, I mean, has anybody ever done anything like that besides Dennis Rodman once in a while?
I can't remember seeing anything like this. And, you know, I have 3 words right now for Ron Artest: out of control. This guy thinks that rules don't apply to him. He thinks he can do whatever he wants because all of a sudden he's got this reputation of being such a tough guy and being one of the best defensive players in the league and an intimidator. He's taking it too far. He's trying to live up to this image that's being created for him right now, and he's way crossing the line by getting in Pat Riley's face, then Keith Askins, and then giving a double middle finger salute to the fans in Miami. This guy, the league has to come down hard on him, set a precedent, because he is out of control right now. And I would not be surprised to see 5 or 6 game suspension. He got a 3-game suspension for the camera incident. I think this is far worse because it is terrible for the NBA. It's horrible for their image. It's horrible for what people at home are watching. It's a very public display. Everybody saw it. Something serious has to be done. A big fine, big suspension.
And you hope Ron Artest understands if he keeps this pattern of behavior, he's going to be the most scrutinized guy in the NBA. I mean, look what goes on with Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed thinks he gets a raw deal.
Lane leaves it for the soon-to-be birthday boy.
He must have heard Shaq complaining, trying to feed the big man.
There they are, talking. Later in the second quarter, Jermaine O'Neal goes up strong, fouled hard by Robert Horry. Words exchanged, but wait 1 second. Wait 1 second.
Woo! How come everybody gets all? How come everybody gets all heated? It's the NBA. You're gonna get fouled.
Exactly.
Okay, he'd be more than okay. 2.7 seconds left in the third. LeBron James, thank you. 23 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. But late in the fourth, and that's leading by 2. LeBron loses focus. Still got a technical. Getting called for travel. Jefferson steps up, hits the free throw. Led 90, 80, 70 at 16.
And then Gordon. 19 points. You know, the Bulls bench outscored the Pistons bench 53-8. Bulls win, but after Larry Brown wasn't happy with the way referee Anthony Jordan treated him during the game. And definitely had something to say to Jordan. What up?
Nah, I just meant the guy wouldn't talk to me during the game. I can't understand. You know, I wasn't discourteous or anything. I might have been at the end, though. And I'm sure I'll hear about that.
But for Kobe, 17 of his 29 came in the fourth quarter, and that would make a difference for L.A. But on this play, Caron Butler and Dan Dickow get into it. Dickow tripping Butler. Butler retaliates by punching Dickow in the ribs. And for that, Butler was ejected from the game. The league will have a message for them. You can bet on that.
Yep, check probably.
101-89 the final. Well, he's known for taking shots, but Kobe Bryant's image has been taking hits, from the sexual assault charges to the dismantling of the Lakers. Ahead, Kobe's tarnished image.
might not have really been aware of what the outside opinion of him was. So now he's seen it firsthand, getting booed. I mean, there's no more direct status or let you know of where you are than getting booed.
Platinum-selling rapper Nas slams Kobe in his single These Are Our Heroes on his new CD, Street's Disciple. Criticism may have reached an all-time high when Karl Malone, previously one of Bryant's strongest allies in the league, announced he would never play with Bryant again after Bryant accused Malone of hitting on his wife, an allegation Malone adamantly denies. And so Kobe finally started talking.
I can't sit up here and say, I'm not at fault at all for anything that took place. I mean, if I could go back and do some things differently, I would.
School is pretty much out. The Lakers have the ball up by 9. And Ricky Davis and Shaq talk it over. Let's update hindsight.
Banks with his speed and quickness turns the corner, a little hesitation there, and he beats the big guy to boot.
5:59 left to go here first half. Boston's got a 13-point. You all right there, Dick? You all right? Play to Pierce. Pierce traveled again.
What?
Yeah, that's going to be a technical foul on Pierce.
And Pierce is really upset, and I don't blame him because he's been going to the hoop and getting no fouls whatsoever. He's really frustrated with these officials. And they call it a walk on him. Incredible. This is in-your-face Paul Pierce from the official.
Lou makes the tee.
They're treating him like he was Antoine Walker.
Let's see if he walked.
Yeah, let's see if he walked right here. Boy, I want to tell you.
Well, he double dribbled. I think it looked like he double
didn't. No, he didn't double dribble. They called steps on him.
Some of Shaq's old unions. First, there was Shaq and Penny in Orlando. Then there was Shaq and Kobe in L.A. They had that ugly divorce. And now Dwayne Wade in Miami.
Keon Dooling gets the most games, but Ray Allen takes the bigger hit in his wallet for this Rock'em Sock'em Wednesday. Allen 3 games without pay, more than $441,000 lost. Dooling 5 games without pay, $189,000 plus. His response, I deserve that. Bottom line, Dooling chased after Allen after the two had been ejected. It's Allen's first suspension in his tenure.
But hey, it was a decision, but that was the wrong move. But that's it.
You gonna talk to him about it?
No.
To me, it's totally unprofessional when a coach calls you to go in a ball game and you don't go. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan, John Stockton, or whoever.
Bynum raising up like he wants it with Shaq. But I don't think he does. And Shaq delivers a forearm. Now, you may remember, this goes all the way back to draft day when the Lakers selected Bynum at 17 years old. He said he was similar to Shaq, except that he makes his free throws. And Shaq wasn't going to let that ride. Shaq said, tell Bynum, Shaq doesn't respond to juvenile delinquents without a college degree. Tell him to get his degree and we can talk. In the meantime, he should call me Dr. Shaq because I'm working on my PhD. And look at this. Kobe actually comes in and plays the role of peacemaker. He's like, me and Shaq are boys now. Double technical foul. Both players stayed in the game.
Answer, Milwaukee in town. Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, top play nominee. Shaq loves his hand loves him. TJ Ford fouled on the layup. Milwaukee won the first quarter, but loses its point guard. Ford, 10th in the league assists, diagnosed with a sprained foot, would not return. Wade tries to take advantage. Oh, good gads a reach. One shot of that ain't enough, Jack. We better make it 3.
Here the Grizzlies on the run, slumping as of late. Bobby Jackson, his layup, no, not exactly. Rejected by Wade. So we showed you Wade scoring. How about the refs rule? There was a foul, so the game isn't over. Teams come back onto the court. Here's George, fresh off that suspension.
And he wants to know the reason for review.
Oh, he loves referees. Fans, well, I mean, they're confused. That's a great shot of a confused fan. The Nuggets win 101.
This is my house, you understand? You understand that? Yes, yes, my house. Yes, your house.
That was not cool.
Duncan following. And Garnett not talking here. Spurs up 1-0. David Robinson.
Forwards Chris Crawford goes up for the tip, and it's good, but he hurts his shoulder going down hard. Crawford did not come back. Minor separation of the right shoulder.
Huge plays.
Charles Barkley abused them down low. Olajuwon's screen was jarring, and guard Cuttino Mobley had a step on basketball's biggest ballerina.
In the game and not foul him. That was difficult. Kind of like waited to the last second to go because I knew he was going to. I knew he was left-handed, so I kind of let him pass me a little bit and I just came from the back.
Later in the quarter, Kobe over the man who says he taught him how to play defense, Gary Peyton Bryant. Not daunted by this atmosphere, 23-22, picking up with Shaq off the rebound. Dwayne Wade, touchdown. Alonzo getting fired up, 17 fast break points for the Heat. Down 6 now. The alley-oop to Bryant. L.A. trailed by 3 after the free throw goes. One more look as Kobe catches 5. Another long pass. Twan, Wade, whammo. Miami up 33-26. Lakers down 13. Get out of town. Kobe a fade. Then with a minute left in the half, Bryant takes this ridiculous pass, and it goes. Kobe getting it done.
Well, who had the better halftime speech, Coach Jackson or Coach Riley? Third quarter, let's get physical. Kobe elbows Wade in the face. Wade with an elbow of his own. Let me hear your body talk. Wade flagrant foul. Peyton, free speech, cost him a technical. It was warm in South Beach, and the Heat are overheating. On a run. Wade, jumper leaning into Lamar Odom, gets it to fall and the foul. Wade just 5 of 15 from the field, 8 of 13 from the free throw line, missed the extra one there. Heat +7. Next possession, Kobe Bryant 12 of 30 over Peyton. He had 37, back to a 5-point game. 2:30 left. Miami now down 1. Wade 5 assists. Shaq, can I dance with your dates? Wade, selfless. Shaq, 18 points. Heat up by 1. Seconds remaining. Lakers down 3. Kobe Bryant, deep 3 to tie it, but he was 0 for 8 from 3. Miami wins 97-92, and afterwards we realized there was more than one Frosty.
It's dudes like that where, that's why things happen off the court between players and their friends and things like that. Where he's extremely disrespectful. You need to watch how he talks to other men. It's a difference between competing and how you talk to another man.
Oh, if the glove talk's on, you must not respond. Odom talking about Peyton, and there it is, 90.
Jazz get tough with Michael Jordan here. Jordan trying to cut through. Hornacek grabs. Didn't work. Jordan gets the lay-in. The elbow from Greg Foster. My skills are beyond your understanding. The Bulls go up by 1. And then Scottie Pippen stepping up as he has.
On the shot clock, Kings hold on to that slim 1-point lead. Major pick from Weber. Stockton goes down. There will be those who say it was a flop. Malone with the rebound. Maxwell down. Jazz running. Look at the pass from Stockton. Foul leveled by Chris Weber.
And it is the playoffs right here. I tell you what, that looked like a pretty solid pick. He didn't throw his elbow, but he certainly didn't take it away either. He just stood his ground and let Stockton have it. Stockton, a little bit of a sucking on his lip, like he got like.
Yeah, and look at the mouse right below his left eye, a bruise on his cheekbone from that. Isley and Stockton both on the floor with Malone, Fuller, and Shandon Anderson. How did Isley get that pass in there? You talk about learning from Stockton. We have a jump ball, and look out. Malone and Divac. Joey Crawford stepping in the middle. Just more physicality in this ball game.
A lot of banging down on the inside. Look at this action between the two big fellas.
Vlade Divac, remember, as we told you earlier, Vlade, because of what's going on so much in Yugoslavia and his worrying about his parents, had only 3 hours sleep last night. Outlet to Jason. The hands of, guess who? John Stockton. Clock to 3:45. Kings continue to lead. This is going to be an offensive foul.
That's a good call,
on Hornacek. And let's, just before we went away, and as we take a look at this, you see he fell on that left hip. That's where the pain and grimace is coming from. And he has played in this game. Stats don't tell the story. Physical play and playoff intensity.
And Bob, I am loving this right there. Everybody getting into the act. Physicality all over the place. You can't go in the paint without getting hit. And then you got a little trash talking going along with it. But I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun watching the first half for the Kings. They got to keep this intensity level up. For the Jazz, they got to keep this game under control right there. Look at John Stockton taking one from Chris Webber. And then Vlade Divac and Carl, they get locked up. Vlade says, hey, man. And the referee says, get back, dude. Everybody getting into it, man. Oh, wow.
Ready. Brad Miller gets mugged underneath the basket, and no foul is called. Tim Floyd expressing his displeasure onto the court with the ball. That is usually a technical. As you can see, Floyd had a point. He got himself ejected. It didn't help the Bulls as they get pounded. 105 to
97-94, and that baby knocks over my coffee and splatters coffee all over the place. And Iverson comes over here to rub it in. Bang!
Just when you thought Twan's off-balance bank was good enough for Boston late Tuesday night, it wasn't. Or was it? Kobe threw it up with 1.2 left. But we got to talk about it. Look at Kobe's shot again as the clock hits 0. The ball still on the tips of Kobe's fingers. Close call, but the Lakers lose, and rightfully so, in the end.
Whoa! Wow. What was that Kobe was saying?
I believe it was Happy Easter.
Tough might be an understatement. Wins, and a possible disaster turned into...
Got the strip and the turnover. Later in the first, Daryl Armstrong turns it over. Matt Geiger tries to inbound the ball because he had already had a couple of shoving matches. So Chuck Daly says, you want to push somebody around? Take my 60s. Right, folks. The heat was on Tim Hardaway in New York Wednesday, but his offensive game has not been on against the Knicks. We'll talk about his woes after a brief timeout.
Near impossibility of perfection. These stubborn men double their efforts.